Well, as I welcome my panelists on debate number 1 tonight, let's begin by first recognizing that there is a dire and compelling need for a cleansing of the defense sector in this country. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Maroof Raza, Sushant Sareen and S Ahluwalia, former AOC and C of South and West of India, welcome into the debate. And I also want to say that this defense sector needs to be rid of the rot that has set within, thanks to the involvement of some corrupt politicians, corrupt bureaucrats, outsiders, and as we shockingly see with these Tyagi brothers, some men in uniform, they have connived to enrich themselves and in the process of doing so compromised our national interest. And I'm doing this show tonight because I feel there is a need for a complete cleanup. So on the other side tonight, Rajiv Desai leans towards the Congress. Nawab Malik will be joining us in some time. Vice Marshal Kapil Kak, defense analyst. We have Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, formerly spokesperson of the MOD and defense expert, and R Kakkar, former police commissioner of Delhi. Of course, I forgot to introduce the empty chair, and I want to thank the empty chair tonight. That's empty chair, which represents the empty defense of the Congress party, can be occupied at any point of time by Rahul Gandhi, and I have a complimentary glass of water because he occasionally, it appears, feels the need to drink from it. And if he comes on that empty chair, we'll offer him that empty chair. Till then, I want to tell you, thank you very much. The Congress party, your empty chair ensures that we have broken our own viewership record today. Viewers, we don't need any political party for our journalism. That message is to the Congress party. Viewers, I want to start tonight by first getting into the debate. Sudhanshu Trivedi and Rajiv Desai, what is the reason you're opening deals worth 50,000 crore rupees, Sudhanshu Trivedi? I'll get you in first, then we'll get a response from Rajiv Desai, then we'll take it forward. Why did you suddenly feel the need to open up deals worth 50,000 crore rupees? What were you doing till now? Why is this being done now? What explains the timing? Jairam Shamravesh says you are trying to finish the Gandhis. Is that the reason? Are you doing this because you want to finish the Gandhis? Sudhanshu Trivedi, why don't you start the debate? Then Rajiv Desai will respond. Open debate after that. Yes, Mr. Trivedi.
Now, whosoever wants to put an allegation that we want to finish the Gandhis, I would just like to ask one question. As you have mentioned in your initial statement that a quarter of the century has passed since Bofor's. But in the last 30 years, whosoever is a foreign exporter or who has taken away the money from here, sitting outside, and who was involved in the corruption here, was always connected to the Gandhis, whether it is Warren Anderson or Ottavio Quattrochi or Christian Michel or Guido Haschke. And as far as, so the question should be asked to them. Since last 3 decades,
what's the link between Christian Michel and Guido Haschke? No, what's the link between Christian Michel, Guido Haschke and the Gandhis? Sorry, no, please tell me, what is the link between Guido Haschke, Christian Michel and the Gandhis? Please establish that, because we are talking today about reopening the biggest defense scam since 1947. Yeah.
Or the...
Yeah.
No. This either the Congress can tell or the Gandhis can tell. I have just given you a picture. Now coming to our government. After we came into power in this AgustaWestland deal, in which there was no action since last more than one year till it was decided that this was an scam. The first FIR was lodged during our regime in July 2014. Then in the subsequent action, the first action was initiated in December against Mr. Khetan. Then from March 2015 to November 2015, there was an attachment of properties of Mr. Khetan and the one media company and of Mr. O.P. Tyagi.
No, but you didn't reopen Rafale. No, you didn't reopen Rafale. Sorry, no, what's it? Sudhanshu Trivedi. Sudhanshu Trivedi, listen, Sudhanshu Trivedi, listen to me. You didn't reopen the Rafale deal. You did not, actually I can get, let Praful Bakshi, let Wing Commander Praful Bakshi come in on this because he knows the details. Tell me, did they reopen the Rafale deal? Did they reopen this Pilatus deal? How come all these deals are being opened now? Praful Bakshi, did they reopen any of these deals till now? Today we are told they are being reopened.
Is also having a political connotation.
Why now? Why now? Why did you remember this now?
Having a political connotation.
Sir, I understand.
Our opponents who are trying to
put an allegation on us
that we are trying to have a witch hunt or targeting.
Sir, I understand, but the question is why
Everything
now?
Is coming out of the usual process or from investigation.
Usual process. So suddenly by the usual process, Pilatus is opened up, Rafale is opened up, and now you have Agusta opened up. What was happening now? Was it unusual till now? Or has it become usual now? Praful Bakshi, were these
I have given you
Praful Bakshi.
Sequence of the
let's get Praful Bakshi. Let's get Vice Marshal Kapil Kak. Hear the other view.
Has been also issued during our time.
Praful Bakshi.
It's absolutely very clear the deals were not opened by them. In fact, there are no intentions of opening these deals. And how the Pilatus took form, it's already a questionable thing, how the Pilatus came into being. And there was a lot of problems when the Pilatus was coming up. A lot of decisions were overruled. The problem here, Arnab, is that the entire setup, right from 1948, as you had mentioned, from the Jeep scandals case till now, the setup has been so designed to favor one group of people who are always connected with these scandals.
Sir, name the group, sir. What group? Name the group. Be specific. You're on Newshour. What group? Let's talk directly.
The group is...
What group?
No. The name of the groups are every time the group may not be the same because they keep retiring and going out. But there are politics and bureaucratic mix up in a group formed by them. They are in the Ministry of Defence. Why? I'll tell you why in the Ministry of Defence. Because Ministry of Defence is run in a way which it is totally undemocratic. The service headquarters and the Ministry of Defence are placed separate, and there is no transparency. So these people who want to make money, basically they are the ruling politicians. Now, before scandal, you know very well, the name of Gandhis was coming in. So was the case in the Jeep scandal, somebody's name was coming in. I am not going to go through the history.
Sir, I want to go into the present. We have lessons from the Agusta scam, and those lessons must be learned. People like Rajiv Desai, who support the Congress party, are refusing to look at the bigger picture that emerges. The bigger picture that emerges today, Rajiv Desai, is something that is completely ludicrous. Let me tell you, Rajiv Desai, suppose, as I said in the start of Newshour, suppose you go to the market to buy vegetables, which I know you don't, but suppose you were to go into the market to buy vegetables, and you had gone to buy onions, and the seller would tell you that the onions are available at 20 rupees a kilo. Will you go and tell the onion seller that, look here, Mr. Onion Seller, you may be asking for 20 rupees a kilo, but I insist on paying you 40 rupees a kilo? But that is exactly what the Congress government did. You understand what I'm saying? The company itself was asking for some 3,000 plus crores. The Congress government was telling, and Maroof will bear me out on this, the Congress government was telling this company, Agusta, that don't worry, you may be wanting 3,800 crores, but we will pay you 4,800 crores. Maroof, am I correct? This is exactly what has now come out from the facts at our disposal. Maroof, am I correct on this? Did the Congress government offer Agusta 1,000 crore rupees more than what they were asking for? Maroof. And then maybe Rajiv Desai can
the
respond.
final figure was just short of 4,800 crores. But quite clearly that was a figure that was being bandied about and negotiated by the government of the day at that point of time. There are of course several riders to it. One of them was that the specifications were continuously changing and the negotiations took long, so the prices were hiked up. But having said that, I think there was a certain level of padding that was taking place all along. There is one of the points, Arnab, that hasn't come out in too many discussions, and that is one of on page 9 of the Italian court's verdict, and that is that there is a DG acquisition who is being cited as a person who was at that point of time very instrumental in getting the pricing done. And this man rose to high levels, has enjoyed the importance in the Ministry of Defence and even outside that. We can name the person we are talking about,
Shashikant Sharma. Shashikant Sharma has accepted it himself. We've spoken to him.
So therefore,
Shashikant Sharma has accepted it. He's the present CAG.
So the point at issue is, as has been brought out, that there is a very deep politico-bureaucratic nexus which works both scratching each other's back to get the pricing done to suit their requirements. these services, though they have continued to be receiving flack because of Air Marshal Tyagi's name coming in, are generally out of the pricing process. It is very rare that the service officers, other than setting out the trials and the technical specifications, get involved with the pricing process. That is left to the civilians. And that is the central point, Arnab, that you need to delve upon, that it is these people who tend to point the fingers at others, but they are doing a grand disservice to the nation. My heart goes out to the service fraternity that are continuously being denied the much needed equipment. Otherwise, we are now slipping into a syndrome where this country is going to ask its men in uniform to fight the next war with sticks and stones. And who is responsible? Please ask those questions, nail them in a time-bound framework, and let us cut off this toing and froing which happens, and nobody gets pinned down and everybody goes scot-free, and the services bear the cross of non-decisive action on the part of the civilian bureaucracy and the ministers who have repeatedly tried to pretend that they are clean, but they are an embarrassment to the nation and the rest of us who pay our taxes.
Well, Maroof, I said right on top of Newshour tonight, when I introduced the program, I said tonight, and I'm asking this question to you as well as to everyone, it is time to throw these crooks, these anti-national sellout brigade, out of Indian political life, Maroof. And that's my only take from it. The reason we pushed the Augusta scam is because these people don't deserve to be in public life, leave alone in politics. They must not be allowed to fight an election ever in this country, leave alone have the temerity to represent even a single Indian. Yes, Rajiv Desai, your time now. Rajiv.
Arnab, yeah, please, thank you, thank you. I mean, there is no question that there was corruption involved in the Westland deal. It has been proven in the Italian court. And
thank you for saying that, because you took a different position till now.
So nobody, I mean, it's important. No. Listen to me. You haven't heard me out. But if you think that this government is going to be able to handle the whole issue and handle this issue, leave alone the entire defense cleanup, you're sadly mistaken.
That's your own cynical stance, Mr. Rajiv Desai. That's the kind of cynical stance that Sharad Yadav took in Parliament when he said the system in this country is so corrupt that nobody's going to be able to clean it up. That's a cynical stance. That's that cynicism speaking, sir. That's your cynicism speaking.
They make such linkages. A minister said an invisible hand operated. The guy Michel issued a denial and said that
you believe Michel. You believe a scamster. You believe a middleman. You believe someone who's a commission agent. You believe a commission agent.
MP being interviewed on a competing channel was destroyed by an anchor over there. He couldn't answer the question, his questions, Mr. Swami. We also know that Mr. Swami, in his defense, in Parliament, also attacked Brajesh Mishra. We also know that in 1999, Mr. Swami hosted Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi. And, you know, it is such a mess.
So it's your problem if Subramaniam Swami is your worst nightmare. That's your problem. I get Sudhanshu Trivedi to respond to you. You come to the point, sir.
String it out.
Sir, you come to the point, sir.
No, if you read. Sir, if you read the newspapers, if you watch the other channels, yours is the only channel that's behaving as though it's in Wonderland. I mean,
now listen, Mr. Rajiv Desai. Now listen, Mr. Rajiv Desai. I don't know which Wonderland or Dunderland you're in, but let me say it very clearly to you tonight. One second.
Arnab, by Mr. Desai's yardstick, 90% of India is in Wonderland. Now, obviously, the bulk of the country's citizens, if they are also walking around in Wonderland or Disneyland, so be it. But the fact of the matter is, the people want the blame to be put, and people want the corrupt people to be punished. And if we can't do that, then we don't deserve the system that we claim to have and the system that is operating. Quite clearly, this is becoming a slanging match between political parties, when the real sufferers are the people who are responsible for giving the country security, and repeatedly their efforts have been hijacked by those with a political agenda.
The media are beginning to report the truth.
Well,
they're beginning to report how the BJP's entire handling of the issue in Parliament was so amateur. Was so amateur that there's no way they can ever fix this. No way, no way. Impossible.
Now,
never mind the larger defense cleanup, and everybody agrees that there should be a cleanup. Nobody wants corruption. Nobody wants corruption anywhere. And everybody, hang whoever is found guilty. But don't do this. Don't do innuendo, nudge and wink, try and do these links. I mean, what kind of a linkage are you doing with between Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Kanishka Singh, his grandfather with whom he has no relationships, and the company, and a company which had done another linked up with an international company on whose board for a little while sat two people who were directors, who were executives of Finmeccanica. Please, I mean, this is embarrassing, Arnab. This is very, very embarrassing. And you should really focus on the truth. You should try and find out why this is happening, because otherwise these people will go scot-free, which is what you don't want.
Right.
The people who took the money should not be allowed to go scot-free.
Okay, now listen to me. Now listen to me, Rajiv Desai. Rajiv Desai, you had your say. You had your say. You had your say. Rajiv Desai, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
No, of course
you are being an advocate for Rahul Gandhi. I have offered Rahul Gandhi the empty chair. Rahul Gandhi sat on a chair in front of me in January 2014. I offered... Arey bhai, listen to me. You are very defensive on Rahul Gandhi.
In public life,
it's okay.
I've always been an advocate for truth and cleanliness in public life. And what I am saying is this government is hardly in any position to defend this truth and cleanliness in public life. Certainly not after the performance we have seen in the Parliament over the Westland deal. It was a joke, if I may say so. It was so funny. It was, and I'm not the only one who's saying so.
So will you now let others into the debate?
A competing channel has reported this.
I don't know which
this Michelle fellow has said that.
Now listen. Let's stay serious. Let's stay serious. Rajiv Desai, I need to get others into the debate. And Sushant Sareen has to speak. The Sudhanshu Trivedi has not spoken, and R Kakkar has not spoken. So I request you to let them speak, please. Rajiv Desai, now please listen to me. Now please listen to me. Listen to me for a while. Listen to me for a while and take a deep breath and just stop for a while. Now I just want to say this: that if a corrupt and a nepotistic group of people in Lutyens, Delhi, viewers, read my lips. I'm asking this question to the viewers of Newshour tonight: that if a corrupt nepotistic group in Lutyens, Delhi realizes that its dirty game is up and they're about to be thrown out into irrelevance tonight, I see fear in the eyes of those people who know that their corrupt game is up, and with AgustaWestland, their game is up. They're about to be thrown out into irrelevance in Indian public life, and they can't digest that fact. Now listen to me. R Kakkar, my question is to Sushant Sareen and R Kakkar now, please. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. Calm down, sir. Calm down. Rajiv Desai, calm down.
To investigate. File the FIR. File the FIR.
Rajiv Desai, relax.
I would be very happy.
Rajiv, nobody's filing FIR against you. Why are you getting so nervous?
For taking the whole country for
Okay, Rajiv Desai now. Sushant Sareen on one side and R Kakkar on the other. The question is this, Sushant Sareen. Question is this. Please note, Rajiv Desai says, do your facts. Otherwise people will think you're in Wonderland. Let me tell the wonder of the facts to Rajiv Desai, Sushant Sareen. The basic price of the AW101 VIP chopper is $18.2 million US in the year 2010. That is $9 million than the figure that was arrived at. The benchmark price cost as worked out by the CNC was 4,877 crores against the estimated total project cost of 790 crores. That is 6 times more than was estimated. In fact, even Augusta was asking for 3,900 crores. So effectively, the benchmark cost was higher by 23%, which means Augusta was saying, nahi, itne paise humko nahi chahiye. We do with 3,900 crores, but hum keh rahe the R Kakkar, nahi, aap lijiye, please lijiye. Please take more money. Augusta is saying, we don't want the money. We are saying, please take more money. Now my question, Sushant, on this is this, and if Rajiv Desai understands it, how can the cost of the helicopters go up 6 times what is estimated? How is it possible? Who is in Wonderland? And on this basis, now we open up 2 more deals. I wonder how many thousands of crores have been paid off as bribes in India, Sushant. We are tonight sitting on the edge of breaking the biggest scam in the history of Indian independence, Sushant, and you also know it. And I know, and you know, that people in Delhi are getting so nervous as the facts are beginning to tumble out. Sushant.
Look, you see, I don't think they're getting nervous. I think it is very clear from the way what you called cynicism on part of Mr. Rajiv Desai was actually, I think, a kind of a quiet confidence that the tracks have been covered up so well that you will simply not be able to draw the linkage or take the money trail to actually the people who actually got all the bribes. So I think there is that quiet confidence which is being reflected. Unfortunately, it is going to be a complicated task to actually draw the linkages between the people against whom allegations are being made and have that money trail linked to them or whatever somebody else who's got the bribes. To draw those linkages, I think, is not going to be very easy. Now, that this government will have to do if they want to restore the integrity of this entire defense procurement process. Now, the problem is going to be that when they start reopening some of the other deals, and I think it was Wing Commander Bakshi who said about the pilotus deal that there were, again, hints of suspicion that there was some hanky-panky even in that particular deal, and the then Air Chief had to come out defending that deal. So every single arms deal in the past has been clouded with suspicion of kickbacks, of bribes being paid, of all sorts of middlemen and dubious characters being involved. I was telling on your channel somewhat in the last program that we had this whole deal about the Tatra trucks where a former Lieutenant General was trying to bribe the serving chief. Now, these kind of things had been happening. The problem has been that once the scandal breaks, it is milked politically, but nobody wants to take it to its logical conclusion and punish the guys
but how not?
who were involved
but how
in
not?
either offering
No,
bribes or taking bribes.
Sushant, that may be their confidence.
No,
One sec.
That is the confidence of Lutyens Delhi that nobody is going to go down to that path.
Listen, to Lutyens Delhi, I have one question. And don't mind R Kakkar, I want you to answer the question. I'm not saying that you're a representative of Lutyens Delhi, but to those people in Lutyens Delhi who think nobody can touch them, right? I have one question. If the initial cost did not factor in additional modifications or requirements, then I want to ask on what basis would the cost escalation happen? It is like saying, R Kakkar, I want to buy 10 apples. Okay? And then I estimate that the price would be 100 rupees each. Then I realized I wanted the apple to be green, I wanted the apple to be sour, and I wanted the apple to have a certain color, so I bought them for 600 rupees each. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's like saying we'll buy choppers for 700 crore rupees. No, then we say we want the choppers only of the specifications that Agusta can provide, so I'll buy them for 600 rupees each. What is wrong? Were wrong?
Mr. Arnab.
Yes, Mr. Kakkar. Go ahead.
Mr. Desai has tried to put up very stout defense for the family which was the driving force, the family which could influence anything in those days.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding all that, it has been established that the bribe was paid, and if it is paid, it is taken by somebody. The bribe giver has been punished. I don't want to go over it. Now the question is, other than the Tyagi brothers and the Air Chief Marshal Tyagi, are we going to question anybody else? I personally feel, why not? All those who are the driving force or influential should also be questioned by the CBI, should also be questioned immediately before they cover the tracks further. I fully agree with Mr. Sushant that by this time, all that Hawala thing that took place with the help of Khaitan, it must have been fully covered. But then what are the investigating agencies for if they can't uncover those things? Therefore, immediately, without loss of time, all those who've been named in the Italian court's judgment must be questioned.
I agree.
By the investigating agency.
I agree, Mr. Kakkar.
There should be no fear.
I agree, Mr. Kakkar. Because unlike I agree with you, Mr. Kakkar. Because unlike Rajiv Desai, I am not in Wonderland. Rajiv Desai may be in Wonderland, but not me.
No, we are none of us in Wonderland.
And Rajiv Desai should understand.
I want to make a clarification.
And therefore,
I want to make a clarification.
Let's question them. Let's see what they have to say.
I want to make a clarification. Arnab, please allow me.
After statement, press statement.
Arnab, please allow me to make a clarification.
Once they are before the investigation.
Okay, Arnab, here's the basic thing.
The color changes.
I am not defending anybody. I am not advocating for anybody. I am all for truth and cleanliness in public life. And I'm saying that the government should prosecute everybody to the fullest whom they suspect and not waste time.
Yeah, but Rajiv Desai, remember,
given their performance in Parliament,
you are covering everybody
they are going to
who
be
is
unable
alleged
to do that.
To have taken bribes.
So their whole cleaning up business is just another posture, a public posture.
Well, I don't think so. Vice Marshal Kapil Kak. Vice Marshal Kapil Kak hasn't come to the debate, and neither has.
That they don't know. And secondly, it's very unfair to do this innuendo bit, and this guy, this gentleman suggesting that I am defending the Gandhi family
too many times,
Mr. Desai, or anything of that sort. I'm not.
The question is, people here have taken bribes. They have taken huge bribes
on a number of issues, including
we know who are the people
but
named in this.
Anybody.
And if we know the name, what is the fear of not questioning them at this stage?
And truth.
We
both
must
of
question
which
them.
Were remarkable.
May I at this point? May I at this point?
Channel for days together.
May I at this point invite Vice Marshal Kapil Kak into the debate, as well as Anirudhan Sampath of the CPM. Vice Marshal Kapil Kak. Vice Marshal Kapil Kak. We are now opening scams worth 50,000 crore rupees. What are the implications? Vice Marshal Kak.
I'm not advocating.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Kak.
Arnab, I do not want to get into the wild accusations and this hyperventilating kind of atmosphere that prevails. Let's get some facts right. Fact number one is, if we are going by Michel's statement on the Paul Burr and family, then why don't we look at the names which have been mentioned in the Ministry of Defense, the Joint Secretary Air, the DG Acquisitions, the Defense Secretary, and others.
Yeah.
I would also like to suggest, what about 45 crores of rupees which have been allocated for the media? For the media.
Yes.
I mean, no one is talking about the media. You were paid in the media.
So
that's what I want to.
No. Vice Marshal Kak. Vice Marshal Kak. May I? 1 second. Vice Marshal Kak, I want to say this to you. I say this to you, and I say it tonight with all the conviction at my command. That investigate the media. Reveal the names of those people. Name and shame them tonight.
That's a good point.
Let us not defend anyone, including the media, in this case. Vice Marshal Kak, but I request you to answer a fundamental question which comes in my mind tonight. Vice Marshal Kak, why am I debating this? Why are we picking up this issue? You are a proud Indian, Maroof is, and so are all of us. As Indians, we are also taxpayers, Vice Marshal Kak. We know that the initial payment that was planned for the helicopters was 793 crore. We ended up budgeting 4,900 crores, right?
I will give you an answer.
Sir, 1 minute. So I just want to tell you.
30 seconds.
I just want to tell you. So I'll take 10 seconds. I'll take 10 seconds. With 4,084 crores, right? The fact of the matter is that 7,741 million children can be fed a midday meal in India. I want to take that number and I want to ask Rahul Gandhi that, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, 741 million children can be paid a midday meal. It is not Congress party money. It is not your money. It is our money. It can't be given away to an Italian company because you felt you would be giving away this money. You see, this You can build 2.7 crore toilets in this country with that kind of money. It's not Congress party money that they are not answerable to anyone. In fact, I think Anirudhan Sampath,
you asked me to speak.
Yeah, go on.
You asked me to speak and now you've taken over. May I answer the question you have raised?
Go on.
Question number one is, you said 793 crores were earmarked. This was a ballpark figure, back of the envelope calculation done by air headquarters when they didn't have details at all about what all will go into that helicopter. What was subsequently added was ground proximity warning system, radar warning receivers, medical evacuation equipment. All those added costs to each helicopter, and therefore, since we were buying 12, the number went from 793 to 4,700.
I find that unbelievable.
The other point I wish to make,
I find that unbelievable.
About school children.
No, I find that unbelievable. It can't go up. It can't go up 6 times. Sorry, Air Vice Marshal. Air Vice Marshal, listen. Air Vice Marshal, by equally, I can also ask you 1 minute. 1 minute. I have a right to counter you. Air Vice Marshal, listen to me. Air Vice Marshal, listen to me. Listen to me, sir.
Why didn't he say this?
Sir, listen to me, sir. With the greatest of respect to you. Sir, listen to me with the greatest of respect to you, sir.
He is doing evasion in Parliament. You are just doing wild accusations.
Sir,
I think we need to get facts.
Sir, we have got facts with us, and therefore the question is simply this, that is it true that even the finance ministry had pointed out to the exorbitant increase in the price of the helicopter they had? The Ministry of Finance had pointed out in July 2009 that the difference between the final negotiated price and the estimated cost appeared to be abnormally high. Now, don't tell me with all your experience that the entire process, where even the company bidding was offering a lower price than what was benchmark, were wrong estimates deliberately prepared to fool the people, sir.
The point I'm making is...
Sir, you know the point I'm making
is the details are not with Arnab Goswami, now with Kapil Kak.
Sir, there are enough details with me.
In his files.
Air Vice Marshal Ahluwalia, R Kakkar into the debate. No, what's Air Vice Marshal Ahluwalia?
Point you made about school children, the approval of the Agusta was done by Vajpayee government. It was not done by the Congress.
Sir,
government.
1 second.
They would have called it off and said,
Air Vice Marshal Ahluwalia. Air Marshal Ahluwalia, I want you to come in on this. Right now, Air Vice Marshal Kapil Kak building a very strong defense for the Congress government, saying ask the Vajpayee government, but don't ask the Congress government. Air Marshal Ahluwalia.
For the Air Force.
Air Marshal Ahluwalia, you tell me today, how did the price go up so high? Were bribes not paid off? Evidently. Where do you believe we stand on this? And do you feel it's wrong of the present government to open up deals worth 50,000 crores now as part of a defense cleanup? Air Marshal Ahluwalia.
You see, it's undoubtedly either an error or intentional that figures can be floated around from 700 or 800 and going up to 4,000 plus and then coming down to 3,600. Initially, of course, like was mentioned, that it was a ballpark figure because this figure is put in for the AON, acceptance of necessity. So it's just a very approximate figure. However, having said that, the price, the PNC, the Price Negotiating Committee, they are supposed to go into all these details, and if any wrongdoing has been done, I think definitely the answers must come out from them. This consists of mostly, bureaucrats in the MOD, and there's no doubt about it that the higher-ups in the Ministry of Defense should be responsible for these kind of figures floating around. And I'm very surprised that this was in the CAG report, and the Ministry of Finance also made an observation, and I don't understand why this hasn't been actually cleared either ways. But there is something wrong here, and that could be an error or it could be intentional, and whatever it be so, it must come out in the open. Yeah. Because this kind of a thing is actually having a very adverse effect, not only in the minds of the public, the people of this country, but very, very severe effect, I would say, in the minds of the defense services. And the defense forces means national security. And this will be the intangible damage that we are doing to the people in the armed forces. So I think action must be taken, and action must be taken immediately. Things have gone wrong. People are responsible for it. catch the money trail, and you'll get the culprit.
Sir, the problem, I completely agree with you, but the problem at this point of time is this, and I get to, I'll get to Anirudh Sampath, and then...
Let me just add something to what Marshal Ahluwalia
Okay,
saying.
Anirudh Sampath after you, yeah.
Arnab.
Yeah. Go on. Go on, Sushant.
You know what is surprising is I can understand that when you are coming up with the proposal, you come up with a certain ballpark figure. But if a ballpark figure is 700 crores, now obviously the guys who applied their mind to come up with the kind of requirements you need must have taken into account what a VVIP chopper will require. It can't be that they were just looking at an empty shell which would cost 700 crores or near about 700 crores. So for that price to then shoot up, or your estimates to shoot up 7 times from 700 crores to 4900 crores, like Air Marshal Ahluwalia is saying, there's something seriously wrong, either in the way the entire process and the procedure works. That means that it's a completely broken procedure. It's completely arbitrary that the people who are drawing up those requirements are not applying their mind, or somebody, as Maroof was saying, was doing some major padding as it went along.
Sushant, may I say...
I can understand from 700 crores,
Sushant.
you add up a couple of other things and you go up to about 1500 crores. But from 700 to 4900 crores, that's kind of crazy.
Sushant, I object to your use of the word arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. It is discretionary. It is discretionary. It is just someone's free will. Someone believes they have the power. And when they are asked questions, then they just cry victim. I don't understand why people object. Now, Anirudh Sampath, you are from the CPM and you're a young member of parliament from the CPM. The CPM offered outside support to the Congress government until the year 2008. You also need to ask questions on what the Congress was doing, Anirudh, because it was in 2006 that the operational height requirement was lowered, allowing this godforsaken company, Agusta, an opportunity to bid for the VVIP choppers. So you were backing the Congress government from outside at that point of time. It is your moral obligation not to spare the Congress, Anirudh Sampath, because you were providing support to the Congress party at that time. Why aren't you being tough enough in your questioning of the Congress party?
Anyway, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you for giving me an opportunity to speak something, even in the last minute. I am a bit far away from you. I have been hearing the debates and the arguments of many of the learned and experienced friends who have participated in this discussion. One thing, anyway, this happened in 2013. 2013 was the tenure of the UPA 2. We were not supporting the UPA 2 government at that time. Even during the time of the UPA 1, the left supported the UPA 1 on the basis of a common minimum program.
Agreed.
And the viewers of the Times Now also, they would also like to understand. They would also like to know that why the left withdrew the support to the UPA 1.
Yeah.
Bypassing the parliament. And let me complete it. I have started.
Continue.
Time to other friends also.
No, please continue. I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting you. Go on.
South. If you are shutting my mouth, then it would be better if you would be like to not to invite me to participate in a discussion like this. I have other jobs also. I am coming from the election campaign.
Please continue, sir. I'm not interrupting you at all. Please continue.
Yes. Then you don't interrupt. English is a gentleman's language. We all believe so. So here we the people of India and the parliamentarians, they are forced to understand and know the things, get the information from somebody else's backyard. This happened during the time of UPA 2 last days, when the US nuclear, Indo-US nuclear deal was signed. And we understood many of the issues only from the Senate committee report. Here the CPM has demanded a high-level probe under the supervision of the Supreme Court of India. Unless and until the Supreme Court of India steps into and the high-level investigation goes on, it will be just like mudslinging upon the BJP and the Congress. Here, as a member who has represented my party in the Defence Standing Committee during 96-98, during the tenure of the 11th Lok Sabha, I would like to say, with my limited experience, I would like to say, it is in the defence deals which India enters upon, it is shrouded with mystery. And what happens, everybody knows outside, abroad. But we don't know. Don't question. You are questioning the national integrity. Don't raise questions. Because it's the national
security. No, who says that? We are asking questions. The Congress party which says don't ask questions. Sir, 1 minute. I want to ask you at this point of time. In December 2004 is the genesis of the scam as per the Italian court judgment. That is when Julie Tyagi met Hashke. The deal, the corruption happens till 2008 when you were backing the UPA government. Sir, you cannot distance yourself from the decisions that were taken by the Congress government that allowed the scam to unfold. Sudhanshu Trivedi wants to say something to you. Sudhanshu Trivedi, please, let's go back to the political debate. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Sudhanshu Trivedi responding
now
to
I
the left
kept on
MP.
listening patiently.
Yeah.
Now I kept on listening patiently because so many experts are there, and on the technical grounds they can have very insightful discussion. But I just want to ask one thing. On technical grounds you can have this view or that view. But why the original helicopter was not tested? Can there be any answer for this? That you have not tested the original helicopter and approved all the things. This is a clear
I would like to Sudhanshu,
which
Mr.
an
Sudhanshu
ordinary man
Trivedi
can
has
understand.
raised a very valid point.
Second thing,
I'd like to answer that
has
point.
said that the deal was finalized during the NDA regime, it is ridiculous. It is on record that the deal was finalized on 27th of September 2006.
Says you can
How
do
you
it
can deny this?
outside India.
And third thing, whosoever was saying that nobody should be spared, I would like to remind you that Ottavio Cotroci during the concluding months of UPA 1 has been allowed to go and get their red corner notice cancelled in Argentina. And not only this, the entire money was transferred.
One second.
This is the track record of the UPA government.
S Marshal Kak, I'm saying something. Please stop. S Marshal Kak. S Marshal Kak, let him complete. Otherwise, you won't be heard. Let him complete his point. Let him complete his point.
And one more thing.
Yeah, and then you can respond. Yeah, please. Yeah.
This is the on-the-spot analysis or the short-term analysis of the problem. But the long-term analysis should also be there. We are such a great country, we are capable of sending our mission to Mars, but we are not capable of having any defense production in the last 60 years. I think this was also a design
Rajiv Desai
by the party who has consistently ruled. And that's why after our government has changed, we have changed the fundamental policy
Rajiv Desai
for defense production. So that in future the scope of these types of should be minimized.
A major error. You know, I don't know what Mr. Trivedi is talking about. You know, in his opening remarks, Mr. Trivedi did a laundry list of people, foreigners, who have been marked as being corrupt and aiding and abetting corruption in India and so forth. In that entire list, and he's brought up Quattrocchi again and all of this stuff, he also brought in Warren Anderson. Warren Anderson was Union Carbide. There was an accident. The people died, and yes, he was.
He was what? He was allowed to go by the Congress government, sir?
And he went away.
He didn't go away. He was allowed to go.
Anderson have
sir, you look at the history of how Warren Anderson left the country. You're factually incorrect.
Mr. Desai, I would like to remind you a New York Times report in June 1985 that Anderson was allowed to flee to India. In a quid pro quo to Mr. Adil Shahryar, who was a friend of Rajiv Gandhi, who has been brought back from US jail in the official plane of Rajiv Gandhi. So that was
okay. Let me tweak this differently. Let me tweak this differently. Maroof is back to the debate.
All the time, your idea is that
Maroof is saying something. Then we'll come back into the debate. Maroof,
give me a minute. Please give me a minute.
Maroof at this point. Maroof. Maroof is saying something. Okay, one second. Maroof, Rajiv Desai.
Trivedi, give me a minute.
1 second. Maroof, Rajiv Desai, Sudhanshu Trivedi. 1 minute. Yeah, Maroof.
Yes, Arnab, I just want to touch on 3-4 points that the distinguished speakers have brought out. The first point is, when you talk about back of the envelope calculations, which is about 800 crores, let me tell you, in 2003 or 2013, computers were available, internet was available. So when the GSQR are made, These specifications are based on what is generally available in the global market, plus a few padding on is done, and it's very easy for us to identify what is the ballpark figure of a particular weapon system that exists, even if you add a certain padding on. So I find it a bit difficult to accept that 800 crores is something like you want to buy a Mercedes car from abroad, and if you've catered for only 5 lakhs and suddenly you say it's become 50 lakhs. So you can't go that much off the mark. As I said earlier, obviously there was an invisible hand that was pushing the pricing up, and this was given a level of consent by the civilian leadership. The second point to understand is that when we talk about these defense deals, we are not addressing an issue which needs greater consideration, and that is that repeatedly, because we've had corruption at these defense deals, is it time now to shed this Nehruvian obsession that any matter of defense will not be open to public debate because you're questioning national integrity? And
Maroof,
I think it's time to turn the corner. And I think this
point I take a break and I'm coming back to the debate.
Corner.
I think Maroof makes a very valid point. I'm taking a short break and I'm coming back to the debate. In fact, I'm extending it because Air Marshal Kak wants to say something, Wing Commander Bakshi wants to say something, Maroof wants to come to the debate, so does Sushant Sareen. My question tomorrow is this. My question is this, that tomorrow morning I hear the Congress party is going to go out on a protest. Viewers, I mean this seriously. And this is my question to you. What do you think the Congress is protesting? As of now, it seems to me it's protesting against itself. And from National Herald to Robert Vadra to AgustaWestland, my question to you viewers is crying victim a better substitute than responding with facts? We're coming back to this whole question and we go into the politics of it. Just give me a time for a short break, viewers. The Newshour is live. We are back to the debate on the defense cleanup. See you on the other side. Few minutes. Don't go away. This question, I'm extending this debate about 5 minutes now. I just have a very simple question here and all the technical points understood. The fact of the matter is Air Marshal Kak and Praful Bakshi. I think Praful Bakshi wanted to come in. I just want to say this, that you can't play victim all the time. From National Herald to Robert Vadra to AgustaWestland, cry victim, cry victim. This is not going to work. You can't play the political vendetta card. It's a boring, predictable and perennial response. That's the point I wanted to make vis-a-vis seeing the way the Gandhis are responding to it. Yes, please, Wing Commander Bakshi, what are you saying?
I would like to tell you, Arnab, that house has caught fire, the damage is done. We are only discussing what the damage has been done. We are only trying to find out who has done it, but we are not trying to stem the rot. 65 years have passed. Our defense deals and scandals remain the same.
That's true.
And we all know very well the problem lies in the Ministry of Defense. But nobody is trying to change the process, including the service chiefs who are reluctant to take and oppose the whole system. The bureaucrats have taken such a strong stand that they and the political nexus will not let anybody go through. And that is where all the benefits of scandals are going into. We know it very well. You asked me the question.
Sir, the question I'm very simple is the Congress party has a standard response right now. No, the Congress party has a standard response right now. They take their gun and they place it on top of Manmohan Singh's shoulder and they shoot at everyone. Right? As if was Manmohan Singh unaware or blind to what was going on, R Kakkar? Did he not know about what's going on? If there are questions which are raised about the Gandhis, why should the Gandhis be treated like some holy cows who are not to be questioned? Yes, Mr. Kakkar.
He was the leader of the flock. He should have known what was happening under his very eyes. But the fact that he knew everything, yet he closed his eyes because he was not all that powerful to oppose the very powerful people.
No, that was his route to power. The route to power for Manmohan Singh was to close his eyes and pretend that nothing was happening. That was his route to power.
And of course, he wanted to remain where he was.
Precisely. Now we are on the political issue, therefore. The political issue is very simply this, that since the Gandhis control the government, it's a natural corollary that their role also should be questioned. Since they control the government, they are also answerable and accountable, since they wielded a lot of indirect power. That is the point tonight. But the moment you mention anything about the Gandhis, they go into this victim mode. Who's going to believe this victim mode, Rajiv Desai? Nobody. You want to take a straw poll tonight on how many people in this country believe this crying victim mode of the Gandhis? Nobody, Rajiv Desai. Not even the so-called loyalists of the Congress party tonight. The fact is, why would Sonia Gandhi's...
stuff up, Arnab.
Pardon me?
You're just making stuff up.
Making up what stuff? Was Sonia Gandhi's name mentioned as a driving force? Was Sonia Gandhi's name mentioned as a driving force? Was Sonia Gandhi's name mentioned as a driving force?
From what I have seen, of the Congress reaction, nobody has played any victim or anything of that sort. In fact, the defense by my friend Abhishek, and he's a friend of mine, was sterling. I think Mr. Anthony spoke extremely well.
That's your certificate. Come on, Rajiv.
The other side fell flat on their face. What is
come on, Rajiv.
Invisible hand? Are we to believe now in Adam Smith? No, please, Arnab. That's my way. That's my view. That's the way I saw it. At least I am not openly through innuendo and actual allegation, pointing fingers without the slightest shred of evidence.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But do you believe people have no right to ask questions?
I think you're absolutely wrong.
Do you believe that people have no right to ask questions?
How can you sit there and attack an upright man, a learned, upright man, a decent man like Dr. Manmohan Singh? How can you ever allow something like that to be said on your show? You should be ashamed of yourself. The man was a giant. The man is a giant. The man knows more than the entire bunch of politicians put together. How dare you even shoot from anywhere, try and shoot him down? That is pathetic. I think, you'll find yourself losing
let him finish. Let him finish his rant. Let Rajiv Desai finish the rant.
People's reputation.
Now listen, Rajiv Desai. Sorry, Rajiv Desai. Listen, you just need your rant deserves a one-line answer, and that one-line answer I'm about to give you now. I'm sorry, but
I'm done.
Listen to me. All you guys.
No, I don't.
All you guys.
It's your show.
Listen to me. Rajiv,
you will have the last word.
Rajiv, listen to me. Listen to me now. If you have the courage to listen.
You will have the last word.
Yeah. Now listen, Rajiv. All you guys. All you people in your lost little capsule in Lutyens Lala land should know that Lutyens Lala land is being questioned right now because some people, increasingly a lot of people, have the temerity to ask questions to it. They will have the temerity to destroy its contradictions.
Analysis and news
the problem is
Lutyens
Lala land is in a state of disbelief tonight.
It's not hashtag.
Lutyens Lala land is in a state of disbelief. That the people of this country are questioning them.
How do I care?
They are questioning the Gandhis.
How do I care, Arnab? I don't care.
You can't question the Gandhis.
No, I'm questioning.
That's exactly the point. You don't care. You don't care, but the people of this country do give a damn about the corruption that's gone on for 65 years, unchallenged in this country. You cannot have defense scams of 50,000 crores and then say, how dare you ask questions about it? Well, listen, Rajiv Desai. Listen, Rajiv Desai. You need to understand that the tables have turned now. Rajiv Desai. Maroof Raza is responding as well. Maroof, why should we not ask questions? We ask questions to everyone.
May I remind,
yes, please.
in support, Arnab, in support of the point that you've made, may I remind the distinguished speaker that when Rahul Gandhi tore off an ordinance in front of public and dismissed completely a decision taken by the entire cabinet led by Mr. Manmohan Singh, I think Mr. Manmohan Singh lost the right to govern the country that day and should have, if he was that upright and that straight.
Well said,
no doubt about his intellect, but that apart, he should have resigned and walked out. So there is something to be said about his obsession to hanging on to shreds of power, which he did till the very end, till they lost the elections. I have no political loyalties and I'm not an apologist for any political party. But let me tell you, sir, with respect, today your political toing and froing and defending one party against another on a political line is becoming an absolute stone around the neck of our defense forces, who have to stand quietly and will be given the unfortunate task of defending the country as they were given in 1962 and asked not to ask questions before that. And many men died fighting with sticks and stones, and the next time it will be even worse. So please don't keep covering up, and let's get to the bottom of it, and let's nail the perpetrators, and let's move on to a new republic, if that be the terminology that we can use.
Well, I close this debate by only saying if there was a time for a defense cleanup, that time is now. Any doubts about it? Sushant Sareen, Air Marshal Ahluwalia, one word from all of you. Is there a better time than now for a defense cleanup? Air Marshal Ahluwalia, any better time than now?
No, Arnab.
Okay, Sushant, let Air Marshal Ahluwalia first speak.
Absolutely not. This is the right time. And this is the right time.
I just have 2 points.
This is the right time to clean it up. And I think we need to, just a minute, and we need to have the reforms immediately. The procurement executive must come into being. It must be permanent in nature. It must be accountable. And anybody deviating and anybody getting into corruption mode must be dealt with very, very severely. This is the message that must flow to the people of the country. It must flow to the armed forces also.
Anirudhan Sampath, please. Time for the cleanup. Anirudhan Sampath, please. Anirudhan Sampath. Anirudhan Sampath from Thiruvananthapuram. From Thiruvananthapuram. Anirudhan.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with you. There are quite a lot of honey traps in the defense deals. There are quite a lot of honey traps in the defense deals. It is high time that we should have a self-introspection regarding the sanctity of the imports, the defense deals. It's high time that we should have a self-introspection, and all the scams should be inquired under supervision of the Supreme Court itself.
Yeah, okay. Then we close the debate at this point. I thank you all very much.
Arnab, last word.
Yes, please. Okay, Sushant. Yes, Sushant.
See, I just 2 quick points. Number one, let there be no holy cows. Like Wing Commander Bakshi was putting everything on the Defense Ministry and the bureaucrats out there. I think many army officers or armed forces officers also, as Mr. Sampath is saying, get attracted by all sorts of honey traps and all sorts of other, offers which are given to them. So,
absolutely,
no holy cows in India anymore, except for some of those which can't be slaughtered. Number one. Number two, I think it is extremely important, insinuations aside, that if there was a government under whose watch this kind of a scandal erupted, then somebody must take responsibility in that government for what happened under their watch. You just can't say that, look, we didn't know about it.
Agree.
Okay, really bad things happened, but we were not involved in it. Because you were in power, because you were responsible, you have to take responsibility for what happened under your watch. You just can't brush it aside and say that we had nothing to do with it.
Well, to all our panelists, tomorrow there's a debate. I don't know what the Congress protest is about. It seems against itself. At least that's the sense I get tonight. I thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.